Tonight, Europe's biggest street party, the Notting Hill Carnival. And we're on board with London's Sky Cops as they try to keep the peace and go after criminals who believe they can stretch resources to the limit by trying to outrun the eye in the sky while everyone else is having fun.
There will be disorder to a greater or lesser extent.
Look at that protest going on there.
And that can be very distressing.
It's Bank Holiday Monday, August 2006. In West London, the Notting Hill Carnival is well underway.
Notting Hill weekend, obviously a very busy weekend for us. We need to be prompt in our tasking, make sure that we're where we are, ground assigned at the time allocated. With two aircraft operating today, Indian 99 and Indian 98. It's going to be a very busy weekend, as it always is, and a lot of expectations of the police to deliver a safe carnival, of which we play a massive part.
The police are expecting at least 500,000 people today. But it's not always been fun. In years past, rioting and even murders have ruined it. And every year, London's criminals come here to prey on the unsuspecting or vulnerable.
The opportunities for criminality are high because you have millions of people densely packed into a very small area. Opportunist crime is going to happen.
Thousands of police officers have had their bank holiday cancelled to try and keep the peace, with the help of the Sky Cops. The plan is to have a helicopter above the carnival route at all times, just in case. This should leave the unit with a spare machine to go after any criminals who try to take advantage of the numbers of police attending the carnival. But this is unlikely to happen this weekend. One helicopter is out of service. Piloting the first mission is Captain Gary Sweeting. A stranger to these parts, he's from Manchester and is the unit's new boy. He came here 3 months ago.
My background is military, and I wanted to be a police pilot because that's as close as you're going to get in Civvy Street.
Yeah, 140, 139. Yeah.
Primarily, my role is the safety of the aircraft. Ensure we don't bump into any cranes, buildings, other aeroplanes.
All right, just keep a good eye out.
Yeah, we're going to find our road.
It takes 7 minutes to fly from the base to Notting Hill.
All right, you can see the boundaries of your area. The barbecues.
Yeah. Problem is, it smells really nice to make sure.
It does.
The food's actually really good, actually. It's all like Jamaican patties and stuff like that.
And it was all the barbecues that were going off, and you could see it from miles away, just the smoke rising up. It makes you hungry as well. I wish we could land them.
Back at base, the reserve crew must make sure the second helicopter is fit to fly. That means taking samples. Not water, aviation fuel.
Just make sure that there's no water in it, but if anything were to happen, if we had an accident or anything, at least they could say that the fuel was all right. And then the pump gets checked every day as well. But there's none in there, so that's good.
PC Beverly Bonner is also relatively new. She's only been a Sky Cop for 18 months and a police officer for almost 4 years. Over Notting Hill, Captain Sweeting and his crew will patrol the 3-mile carnival route. Not aimlessly. They're under the direction of 2 of the men who run the air support unit, Sergeants Gleeson and Hutchinson.
It's Rosemead. It's going to be bottom end of Sector 4 down towards Holland Park.
They're based at New Scotland Yard, in the centre of London.
Square bottle.
In a master control room where senior officers decide how to best control the huge crowds 4 miles away.
You happy with the route, Gary?
Yeah.
Well, this is the way that should go.
Yeah, because all the way up here turns right. A bit hokey-cokey up there.
There's quite a few people down this stretch of the road up to the west way now.
They watch the action on feeds from hundreds of CCTV cameras and a special downlink from India 99. On the streets, officers are getting worried. Sections of the crowd are getting more and more agitated.
Hang on, what's that? Lovely, thanks.
It's clear from the air that this isn't a fight about to start. It's dancing or moshing.
Just watering it out there, so a little bit of a crowd.
The Sky Cops haven't seen this sort of thing at Carnival before.
When you see it, first see it, you think there's a big punch-up going on, but it's not.
If you're 3 or 4 people away in that dense crowd, you don't know what's happening. The dancing, moshing is very aggressive.
It's not a big punch-up, which, when you first see it, you think it is, but that's the hard bit, is trying to differentiate between that and when it really does go wrong.
Back at Lippett's Hill, calls are continuing to come into the unit's control tower.
That's fine, no problem. Yeah, we can do that.
While Scotland Yard manage the carnival, all other crime calls and requests for Sky Cops assistance will come here. And this tower gets hundreds of requests for help every day.
Yeah, 24 hours, yeah. It can be a pressured environment, especially during busy periods. If you're getting numerous calls coming in for varying things of a similar nature, you've got to look at them and weigh up the situation and try to decide where we're going to be able to deliver the best service to our colleagues on the streets.
Today, Controller Myers will be trying his best to deal with requests so that 99 remains free to police the carnival, where trouble is brewing. Commanders are getting reports of gangs of young men moving quickly through the crowds. The police call it steaming.
This is a group of people charging through densely populated people, grabbing property from them, robbing them and continuing to charge through, like running a train through the middle of the crowd. They steam through the crowd.
60 hooded, IC3 miles, Goldbourne Road, concerned in assault now, towards a bridge.
Yes, sir, remind me as we go up where I'm going to turn.
The former sort of arrowhead and just barge their way through as fast as they can. And it's quite a sight to see, really, just bursting through the crowd.
Crushing, people trying to get away, people trying to then chase them who've been assaulted or robbed. The potential there for serious disorder and injury is great.
Top left of the screen.
That's him. No, right.
Sometimes very difficult to get officers right into the heart to see what's going on. With the eye in the sky, as we call it, get the helicopter there, it can give us a very, very good vision, very, very good picture, very, very quickly.
And this is where it gets to be full.
Trouble is brewing. But there are enough officers on the ground.
Where are you now? Yeah, gotcha. Another 100 yards down. We'll stand in for a minute, see if they need to be stopped.
As the steamers disappear into the crowd, elsewhere at the carnival, most people are having fun, while others are taking big risks, 30 feet up on the rooftops.
Oh, who's that there? Where? On the wall, out there.
It looks like there's an alternative party underway.
We've got one at the right hand end, Gary, of the one south side of the road. At the other end? Same side? South side, yeah. Oh, yeah. Far end.
And not only for adults.
Yeah, can you see this? I've got a kid up there now.
Yes, sorry, just confirm you want a van unit.
That's going to be fraught with danger.
It looked like a whole family had gone out onto the roof. They'd taken their drinks up there. What I thought was totally out of order was that they let their child go up. It was about 4 years old.
A couple of people up on a roof in Conlon Street.
You're helpless up there. You can see it all happening, but you're helpless, and you just fingers crossed that nothing happens before you can get him to safety.
They've come out of their own.
The only way the Sky Cops can help is to get police officers to the building to try and talk the partygoers down.
Find out what premises it is first.
There was obviously a big concern to the sergeants and supervisors at the yard. They were going to deploy some serials to go and try and deal with it.
In these crowds, this can take time.
From Silver, when the officers attend, for these people are on the roof, officers are not to go on the roof.
Get a close up at the front door.
By filming the entrance to the building, the Sky Cops are letting commanders at the yard know where they should send officers.
Get the door now.
The urgency built up there, and we're calling in ground units, who then found the premises, went through and spoke to the organisers.
The roof revellers have got the message.
Mike, Romeo, over.
Repetition, officers are not to go up on the roof, GT over.
Meanwhile, in the East End, the traffic cops are after a stolen BMW. Too fast, too dangerous. Sitting in the passenger seat of the police car following the BMW is PC McComiskey. He can't believe what's happening in front of him.
We were behind it. It was a black BMW on the wrong side of the road, sort of making off from us, driving down the outside of all the traffic, and in a very, very dangerous manner. A very, very dangerous individual behind the wheel. It was horrific.
The air support unit's second helicopter is on its way. PC Paul Cole in the back seat will take tactical control of the mission. He will call the shots.
When the radios are very, very busy, there could be 2 or 3 active jobs going on that one ground. You're trying to get your little bit of radio time in, so it can be very difficult to juggle all the roles.
Back at the Carnival, India 99 is running low on fuel. And tensions are rising.
It's going off left to that now. It's going off left to that.
Look at that punch up going on there. We'll go Ben. Might need to get somebody down there, we think.
Have you seen any more reserves come in, Lee, or is that all there is at the moment?
They look like they're pretty on their own end. There's probably no more than about 1 and 6 at the southern end.
There will be disorder to a greater or lesser extent. I defy anyone to say that an event of this size happens anywhere in the world and would have no events of disorder. And the concern for us is small, isolated pocket becoming something much, much bigger.
Stay on the police.
Yeah, apologies, GT, just come to this channel. I'm just about to inform you, obviously you're getting our pictures, that you're going to need more units down at the Rampage one.
Captain Watts and his crew can only watch as their colleagues on the ground struggle to bring the crowds under control.
They've got a load more just arriving. Yeah.
Everyone knows this is a crucial moment. The situation can easily spiral out of control. It hasn't. The police reinforcements have won the day.
With the crowds there, you're going to get some problems over the weekend like that. When it happens now, they can get the right people there at the right time, but it's pretty much contained very quickly now.
Go when you need to. We need to go now.
Whilst 99 makes a rapid departure to head back for fuel, in East London, the BMW driver is throwing caution to the wind. He's not only a car thief, he's a disqualified driver as well. India 98 has arrived and is on its tail.
We got visual on the car, and we're on him, and we were able to take up the commentary quite early on.
PC Cole will now be the sole voice the police commanders will listen to as they try to decide whether to call this chase off or let it continue. For now, it's being allowed to go on, but it's near the mark.
The main problem with this pursuit is going at those sorts of speeds along, although they were open roads, they were still 30-mile-an-hour speed limits. He's doing almost double that.
The traffic cops behind the BMW are keeping touch in case the thief stops and tries to run for it. Just as it seems the driver is driving more sensibly, he starts to become more reckless.
At one point, we did try and get ahead of him, hopefully persuading him to think, well, now there's a helicopter here, you're not going to be getting away. So the best thing would be to slow down and pull over. Unfortunately, in this case, he didn't.
All cars, terminate pursuit. Vehicle is driving too recklessly. Terminate pursuit.
The car was clearly driving in an erratic manner and would not have suited being chased by a police car. So the ideal option was to allow the police cars to drop off by following the car with the helicopter.
Yeah, engine 99, if you can continue, and a dog van to stay in the vicinity, over.
Going to be straight down there for quite a bit, I would think.
If they think they've then lost the police, The hope is that they will then calm their driving down to a certain extent.
No other units apart from Indian 99 and Kilo Zero assigned to this. All other units vicinity only not of 2.
Left turn. Still overtaking, going into the chevrons and heavy braking.
This is now a game of high-speed cat and mouse. And the mouse is staying ahead. PC Cole is unable to get a fix on where the thief is headed. The stakes are being raised. The driver is taking bigger and bigger risks. And he's taken one too many.
He took the fronts off this Vectra, which meant that his airbag deployed in the car. He just pulled over.
Decamp, New North Road.
I'd seen him sort of come out the car and go in front of it, turning sort of left up this junction. We were kind of being guided sort of by the air support unit, which is a great help.
The man is obviously shaken by the crash and unsure what to do. Desperation is a dangerous companion, and a door has opened for him. Unfortunately for the thief, but luckily for the occupants of the flat, traffic cop PC McComiskey is hard on his heels.
He was hiding in the bedroom. You had a family, sort of father, mother, a couple of children, and the mum was screaming, the children were screaming. There's him sitting in this person's bedroom trying to hide. You can only think what they went through.
What's detained, over?
All received. MP.
A nice result all round.
At the junction, the severity of the impact is obvious. The innocent driver of the Vectra has had a lucky escape. He's badly shaken, but unhurt. While 99 returns to base to refuel, the party is continuing. It's 7 p.m, only a few hours to go before it's supposed to end. The calls are coming in thick and fast.
Stand by, there's something happening at our road, a stabbing up there.
Gangs of young men are starting to worry police commanders. They need the Sky Cops, fast. At Lippets Hill, they're ready to go. Captain Paul Watts is already warming up.
252, copy Westerly at 10 and 997.
But there's a problem. A big one.
Might be changing that plan. Our right-hand generator won't come online. I'm just going to shut down the number 2 engine, never go restarting it. But it's
Okay, no problem, Paul. Just keep us in the picture.
There's a heap of junk, this aircraft. No, it's not going to.
This is the news Sergeant Gleason's been dreading. For this, the most critical hour of the whole carnival weekend, he needs 2 helicopters.
It's dead, no second aircraft. It's slightly frustrating because the plan is at this time, all things being equal, is that the aircraft relieve each other, so we have constant cover.
We've got the right-hand generators packed up, and as usual, these things always happen at the worst possible time.
They can't even use their 3rd machine as a spare. It's still in bits.
We're pretty much grounded now until we get an engineer in. Being a bank holiday Monday, who knows when he's going to get him. And one of the things you can never tell, it's going to be a loose wire, 5-minute job or 2 or 3 hour job, taking the whole thing out.
Luckily, 9-8 is back to refuel.
Ambulance crew or an ambulance road junction with Wigan.
You had a stabbing reported, Labyrinth Run, north of Oxford Garden.
Another 30 to 40 ski masks and hoods. Notting Hill Gate attempted to enter the area. The message is quite specific on this one. Can we monitor Ladbroke Grove north of Chesterton?
Right, south one.
There are reports of gangs of men putting on masks and hoods. More steaming.
Where that church is, Paul? 2 o'clock.
GT98.
Just as well, the eye in the sky is back.
At the moment is Talbot Road, Talcon MPS3 of apparently 200. I see 3s hooding up and masking up.
They're basically running a big circle around Ladbroke Grove on Church Road, steaming through the crowds.
Do you want a piss? 30 shot.
GT from India 98, numbers are in excess of 5050.
Down where he said,
Yep. You're hooding up, moving westbound.
So what's happening down there, look?
Stand by 218A Alpha, 218A Alpha, go ahead.
Got a lot of runners here, going up the starboard.
Cambridge Gardens over.
Could be up there, so they're going to the A40 now.
Cambridge Road, the next road up.
Yep.
The pictures from 9-9 have enabled commanders to move officers into position, heading off and breaking up the steamers.
The group have sort of spread out quite considerably now, and the main bulk of the group just appear to be milling generally northbound Lambeth Grove.
It's a relief for Scotland Yard and the Sky Cops, as it's time to refuel.
I'll let you know if there's anything terribly interesting.
At Lippets Hill, the second helicopter has been fixed. Just as well, it's needed elsewhere. Captain Darnley is at the controls, and he's been asked to find a car which is being followed by armed police in South London.
About 2 minutes off.
They suspect the men in it have been involved with violent car thefts.
Should be on the road that runs up to the river on the other side of the oval.
It doesn't take long.
It's a blue Ford Focus that was being followed by some firearms units. We've found the information out by the main working channel for London. We've made our way as quickly as we can, and we've said to them, don't try and stop the vehicle before we get there in case it does fail to stop.
There they are, they're just going around the left-hand curve at the end of the park.
MP, and we're overhead, vehicle in sight. I'm looking at possibly 2 occupants, IC1 driver and IC3 passenger.
With everything set, it's now right for the 2 police cars with armed officers to move in.
You're not required at this time to do 0 MPV. Stop the vehicle due to their activity MPV.
But the target has seen them coming.
Gone for it. It's a north off MP. Sign Whiskey 2.
The vehicle fails to stop and begins to drive on the wrong side of the road against oncoming traffic.
Vicinity only. That's a crash.
As it turns left, it collides with an oncoming vehicle, a very minor accident. At this point, we think that it has stopped.
Off again.
The crash has damaged the car, but not disabled it. With at least one tyre going flat, the ground cops know this can't last long. And it doesn't.
Okay, the decamp MP, driver out, and he's running. Passenger still in the car, I believe.
This is where backseat observer PC Redhead starts to earn his money.
Straight across, officers straight across, behind the black van.
He was fast, yeah, but I don't think the police were in a position to get out and follow quite as quickly as the driver of the crashed car was. Often I've heard it say that the criminal's need to escape is sometimes greater than our need to catch him.
Getting ground cops to the man will be difficult. His runaway was fast, and the nearest officers are far behind and out of sight.
Okay, Trojan U's running. I've got 2 containing a house. He's in the back garden. Just to get you talked in, stand by. Officer running towards the helicopter now. Stop running. He's in the houses on your right, in the back gardens.
From me, we're by the black hatchback. Where is it from here? Over.
2 officers standing together.
To make matters worse, he's gone to ground in a house. But PC Redhead isn't worried.
Once he's gone into a house, then the whole house is his until we get it contained, but we knew where he was.
Okay, can someone to the front of the house where there's a white minibus? He's gone into the back of that house, please. Officer in the back garden, 1 garden away. You're now looking over the fence. He's gone into that house. Can I have someone to the front of the house, please, where there's a minibus, in case he comes out the front.
Pinned back and front, the wanted man has only one place to go.
He's out the front. And he's detained. Suspect detained.
Good.
More units, please. Got 1 officer with the 1 suspect to where he's detained by the minibus. Stand by.
The August bank holiday is fading fast. The carnival is over, officially, but on the streets, you wouldn't know it. As darkness closes in, the potential for more trouble increases.
They just got the last crowd coming over, or the next crowd coming over the Iron Bridge.
There is trouble, but it's not the revellers. There's a serious fire in a block of flats. People might be trapped.
Right, Westbourne Park, I think that's what he said. It's literally just south of the A40, just after it does that left-hand bend.
The Sky Cops are once more in the nick of time.
Waiting the LFB to make a sweep of the building.
If somebody thinks that the house is on fire, to send a fire brigade unit to investigate it is very, very difficult. We can look at that on our camera and give a very accurate judgment as to whether this is a problem that needs more resources or doesn't.
Yes, sir, thanks.
GT India 98.
98 ahead, GT.
Yes, regarding the fire, we are overhead and downlinking as you've got access to pictures. As you probably see, it's a ground floor flat which appears to be alight.
From our view, we could see there was no one on the roof. We could see where the fire was. We could tell the commanders where they need to deploy effective resources.
Nobody hanging out any windows? No, I've had a good look on there. No one on the roof.
The fire is under control. But the carnival isn't.
50 years with bottles, believe one has a gun. Stand off in the road.
Reports are coming in of serious violence, people fighting with weapons.
Just confirm a large group of 50 hostile males. Ladbroke Grove, Kensal Road.
That's it, no, next junction, that's the...
There's always C5.
It's what Sergeant Gleeson and his commanders have been afraid of.
Now a standoff in the middle of the road between Kensington Park Gardens and Ladbroke Square.
Oh, we've got bottles being thrown now and all over.
Oh, yeah, look.
Carl, look how many people are down there. Loads.
But you've only got to arrest one person and their friends don't like it, and then they might get one bottle thrown, and then it all just escalates from there, and it ends up in almost a riot situation. You've just got so many people throwing bottles.
God, look at all those police on the ground and people are throwing bottles, and there's bottles everywhere.
And the officers on the street, they're getting glass bottles thrown at them, and their protection is a helmet and a Met vest, and that's it, that's all they've got.
There's a lot of injured people. Now there's a serious neck injury somewhere. Couldn't get any worse, could it?
Just an excuse for people to have a pop at police, isn't it?
Just as quickly as it began, the bottle attack ends.
Go to the TSG serial, and they're going to be coming under attack from someone in front of them, I believe.
The officers on the ground are once more in control.
What we'll do is, if it's all right with you two, we'll hold and watch this crowd just until the crowd goes up to the next junction.
Yeah.
They're all on video. We know who they are, so we'll let them all calm down, let them go away, and they'll be arrested at a later date.
This year's Notting Hill Carnival was celebrated by at least 1 million people.
I think that's the last of the float.
11,000 police officers looked after them.
You all right, Kev?
Yes, Bev.
The air support unit flew 33 missions and was in the air for over 13 hours. In total, there were 213 arrests. The driver of the car who hit a lamppost was arrested and is being questioned by the police for other offences. And the man who drove the stolen BMW was arrested by PC McComiskey and sent to prison for 22 months.